What is up, guys? Quick update here. Last 2 weeks of October, let's go through it. NFP today, first day of November. I mean, we're closing on the end of the year. Had to get myself some merch, certified trader now. Let's have a look at the accounts. I've managed to log back into FTMO as well. So as you can see, we'll go funded first. Up 1%. I've had a win. Also missed a trade. A bit annoying. I was in Amsterdam for the weekend, didn't quite recover in time. I mean, it happens. I wasn't going to trade if I wasn't feeling right, and I think that's an important thing. Mentally, I wasn't there. I've missed out on money, and that's my fault, but I've got to learn from that, you know. You've got to come onto the market 100%. If you're not, you've got to know better than to trade. If you do trade and you lose, it can mess you up a little bit. So, done well to not trade, but I'm not happy that I was not 100% to trade when it's of my own fault, of course. But yeah, we caught a win. We're up 1%. I'm in a trade. If that loses, I'll be up 0.5%. But a payout is next Friday, so we'll see if we get that, which is looking promising at least. I'm more than not looking to get a 200k account with the profit to start trading it once this account in phase 1 goes to phase 2. And then I'll have the 400k allocation ready to pass/go with some funded there. Look at this drawdown. I mean, it's been a long one, this. We're slowly getting our way back up though. This is the trajectory you want to see. You want to see these spikes, the equity curve being strong with a little bit of drawdown, overall profit. And that's why I'm not so much interested in how long that's taken. It's more of a case for me, how well I've done to get out of that and then maintain not going back in drawdown since the start of September there. Consistency scores high. We're looking at a lot of trading days, but yeah, I know a lot of you guys like this stuff. I don't really look at it too much. I'm just interested in taking the right trades, and over time, I know my strategy is profitable. Sometimes there is deep drawdown, but other times I'm going to get straight winners, and I haven't really had that yet. But it's for me to get better in my strategy to do that. But yeah, I think that's all. Fivers, we've got phase 1 up 4% out of 8. I'm in an EU sell. We're going to discuss that. NFP could obviously give you the win, but equally could give me an L. So we're going to see what we do. So as for learning lessons in the last 2 weeks, let's discuss where we were at going into the 21st, so the week before this week. I mean, we were very bullish. DXY pushing up. We had a big gap here. We continued bullish. It's just straight up buys. I don't see a issue yet with any area. We know that as a whole, you've got this order block around this 104. This is obviously my key level. We had a big drop from this area after consolidation in the summer, gave us a low, but really very bullish at the minute, not looking for any downside on the dollar. And then EU, if we go to that, where was it? Let's try and find the week. Equally here, so it's where you can easily get tricked out. We know we're a bit more bullish overall within this, but we haven't seen signs of downside stopping yet. We have a lot of untapped areas here, which is annoying, and I was setting higher time frames in these areas, but because I've got 2 weeks to go through, I'm just more going to discuss the week where the option was for me and what I've missed out on. So yeah, straight up, I think at this point this was looking very juicy this wick as liquidity. We know that this area though, you're coming into double POIs here, this wick. You got this that still hasn't been broken as well. There's a lot, but I look at that strong closure, wick rejection, not really there yet. Looking for downside to continue now for the minute. So that's EU and then GU for this week. Go back to that week as well. It's a little bit more difficult, right? So I think the difference is that equally with EU's wick being down here, I think GU's one was looking more here. So you had that. We obviously took that, we closed weak, so there was no confirmation for downside for this week in my eyes. I know we had this area here though. This is a previous fair value gap that we wicked into twice to see the high. We've now come back into 50% twice. So the indecisiveness is too much there for me to say we're definitely coming down. So I'm going to stay out of GU to start the week. So if we see DXY, we've come up, closed strong bullish on Monday. No trades there because I'm not going to be looking for any downside when these candles end up looking very much like order blocks in the end. and they get engulfed with the strong momentum. Obviously we tapped into this, but I'm looking for 104 to be tapped at this point. If we go to EU, let's have a look. Monday. So EU here, come down, actually made a low. Alright, cool. I think, again, you're at a low. I'm not going to sell at a low. I would have liked to have seen a pullback first, but obviously we've gone down there. And then GU, as for this, I was interested to see, okay, how are we reacting? Because if we've come into this and we're going to go up, we're going to start to see candles actually going back up, breaking this wick, and then start to be bullish on the daily again. If we didn't, however, because of the weak close, do we need to grab liquidity from previous weekly low before we go up? So the idea was there that, okay, if we do start the week maintaining bearish sentiment, then a sell is worth a go to take out that low. And I think with that confirmation there, what you've seen price form, order block has come into it, and then we've got a confirmation, we've got a low to test. So there was an idea for a move here. I don't think it was the best. It is very low, but this is where I can't too much focus on the weekly when the daily candles are just giving you clear direction, aren't they? I'm not going to try and call the bottom here. I'd rather sell to the bottom. So we'll have a look on Tuesday of where the move was. The reason why this worked well was DXY. I mean, you're still getting confirmations for upside. We have not had a problem in this order block. We've retraced a little bit, still got a strong close. I think that was worth a shot. So if we look at the fib going into the morning here, we have a pretty nice setup here. You can see that we've taken out this wick. So pretty tight fib in the way that I look at things. You're looking at that. And of course you're looking at this low as a target. So what you have is, you have a 1 hour 50%. I think that looks the best of everything here. It's not the best down to the fact you have the fair value gap here within the discount, but I wasn't looking for an entry until we come into 50%. Stop loss wise, just need it above the golden zone. There's no POI within the leg to justify me having a bigger stop. This wick is not enough for me. I don't like that enough to be having a stop loss above. So really 13 pips max for the stop, targeting the low 2.8, and then we can see how that played out perfectly. Like simple pullback trade, break of Asian high. It's just a nice trade, and I missed that. I was not well enough to come on the market of my own fault. So the lesson I've learned there is, you know, if you are going to go and have a good time somewhere, it's up to you, but you miss out on potentially one of 3 trades in the month. Well, that could be the difference between you winning and losing for the month. And for a 3-hour trade, obviously that sacrificed a lot for me, but it's not about being perfect as a trader. It's about learning through the journey, and I've got to learn that lesson. The difference is what you do from that point. Do you let it affect your brain, or do you just go on and continue trading? Because I had to continue trading. I couldn't let it get to my head that I've missed a move, because otherwise you start chasing stuff. And I think I'm maturing as a trader a lot through that. But that was the missed move for the week. And really, overall, from that point, you see that GU's closing indecisive. We've filled that weekly now. Where are we going to go up? Need to see structure breaking for buys. We just continue down. And again, at that point, it's too late in the week. We still haven't done anything to confirm upside. And then Friday just continue down again. EU at the low, going into Tuesday. At the low again. At the low again. Take that wick. See, this is what I'm looking for now. I'm seeing price come down. It's alright me thinking in my head, I'm not going to bother trading it, which is true. But here is where I want to see a reaction. So I'm looking at this point and I'm saying, right, what I want to see now is price come into this area. Do we bounce off it and start breaking this wick high that formed us the low? If we don't, then sells are still on the cards, because in my eyes, this is a key area for price to bounce off to go up. If we don't see reactions off it, we can come lower than this low. So the reason being is when this weekly candle closed, you can see on DXY, we ended up continuing bullish all the way into 104. We've done a fake out, and then we finished the week kind of at it. So this is an important one going into the next week, because this is the week we're in, NFP week. Still haven't seen a problem on DXY. Yep, the key level's there, but the key level is only valid when you see reactions off it, which I haven't yet. On the weekly time frame, I'm still bullish on DXY, and I'm still bearish on EU. No significant reaction off that, looking like a confirm to come down again. Set a higher time frame. I really do trade simple, really do. Like, if you look at that, it's the weekly fair value. We mark up where we want to see a pullback from. We want to see the previous week, which is this high. This is the previous weekly high. I want to see that break, and if we do that, I'm looking for a sell based on a pullback, because at the minute we haven't confirmed upside at any point, even though weekly wise you could say we're very low. I'm just trading what I see, not what I think, which is an entry there. Oh, not the buy. I'm looking for an entry there with stop loss around 40 pips, giving it room to come into the weekly and fill, target the low, and that's a simple trade for the higher time frame there. Going to this week, which I've currently just been tagged in here, which I'm in, you can see that. We've come into 50% of the weekly there. We've closed below. We have potentially changed daily structure from this high making this low, but I'm happy to see this week out and let the analysis play out for the end of the week. If we do see weeklies close strong, maybe I'll close out, but I'll probably be taken out of the move by that point with an FP. But yeah, going into this week then, EU looking for more sells. With DXY looking bullish, GU again, I mean, we've got previous weekly low here. We've come into this bigger fair value gap, which is another potential issue, but haven't seen candle close a week off it, have we? And this liquidity point, we're coming lower than that, so that can be taken off. We're still not breaking this weekly, but it's confirmations. Then looking at higher time frames off this, you know, I'm not looking as much. If this is the previous weekly high here, I'm looking for sells outside of the weekly range. Reason being is I want to see a significant pullback. I don't rate that as a good enough order block. I feel like this order block's way better because we actually formed fair value off it and we've retested it. So I'd like a move somewhere around here. I think I got in at 50% the daily with it's quite a big stop. There's a lot of room here, so I've managed to still get like I think it's about 65 pip stop. This has never been triggered, but therefore I'm looking for price to come up in the week to give us lows, but at the same time, if we get confirmations for us coming down, then equally I'm looking for that. On the daily time frame, we have equal lows here as well we formed to finish the week. So let's see what Monday does, because at the minute it's very difficult on Monday. Actually, no, this is the day I took a trade. It's because this day here is Thursday. That threw me off massively. So yeah, DXY on the daily to start the week. This is a confirmation. We have a previous weekly high to test. Straight up, don't need to confuse anything. The trend is still continuing. EU is not the best order block, but we have, what we've done is we formed an order block this wick, come into it. We then took liquidity off that wick. We've closed strong bearish with a rejection wick. In my eyes, it's looking like we can sell. My only slight worry would be, are we going to get to the lows? Next target, equal lows. I was happy to target that. Let's go into Monday. I'm looking for a trend sell. GU, I did not like GU as much. Reason being is it hasn't come into any POI to the upside. Therefore, not going to look for a sell off that. Not enough confirm. So really now looking on EU for that sell. Let's mark this up. So what we can see is going into Monday. If we mark this in, again, this is a really good example of the strategy just playing out to a T. Simple 1 hour fair value within the OTS, really within the golden. We're going to enter in where we can get a decent enough R, which I think I still could. Again, no POI in the fib to say otherwise. Stop loss could go above the golden here, so I had a 17 pip stop. Targeting equal lows, I think they're there. So it's 2.5 R. Simply looking for this 1 hour to be held and respected with us getting back into this, even if we're going to go bullish from this point, I feel like that would be the internal range liquidity to give us the upside. Therefore, valid target in my eyes. Going with the trend, tagged in there. We played about here for a while. Let's have a look at how we moved. So I nearly got taken out a couple of times, but this is why I've got the rules for where stop loss placement is. I don't need it higher than that. It shouldn't break it, and it didn't. We see that we can come back up again. We've now come into this 1 hour here. We've filled it. We don't really need to come higher again. And then from that point, we've come up again. It nearly took me out. One last tap into this 1 hour. And then, yeah, straight up dropped, took out the wick. And that is pure example there of perfect trade management, isn't it? Perfect stop loss, perfect take profit. And you can see there, like, 41.7 pips. And you can see here this win, if it shows you where the overall pips would be, 41.7. So that is the exact trade that I caught. I'm showing you guys that is legit. That's the move I caught this week. And then if we were to look on the daily from that point, we rejected the downside and we closed bullish. I still wasn't going to trade counter here. I don't like the fact that we haven't seen this area engulf. I do think that that was an inducement. If we see that breaking, we can then go down. So we can see the downside of that. But this day didn't do that. It just broke through. And then, obviously, yesterday got the higher time frame triggered in. Doesn't look the best right now, not going to lie. But we are coming down. NFP could do anything, couldn't it? Even this morning, like, we've seen a gap up. We've still respected the weekly 50%. This daily has been engulfed, so this is now invalid. But it's a zonal stop loss. If we don't see price come down, well, we're going to see price come down into this probably, or this wick, and we're going to see a high to retest. Be looking for buys next week, 100%. DXY. So we obviously tested into that previous weekly high in the end. We've failed off it, and then we've started to see bearish closures. My overall DXY prediction is today, which will give us the sell on EU. I want to see this liquidity taken. I don't feel like the sells on DXY are very easy until this liquidity is taken. My whole analysis has been based on that. Probably should have mentioned that earlier. But my whole idea has been based on DXY coming up to take that wick. Until I'm proven on the weekly time frame that it's not, I'll still be looking for that option. I think another thing to note on DXY is you might be thinking, oh, it's coming down, but that is the imbalance fill. And the imbalance fill only happened on the weekly time frame yesterday, and we've retested that this morning. So if this was a big pullback with a failure without any volume to break through, we've now done the imbalance fill. NFP could take us up if we get good numbers. We've had good ADP during the week on Wednesday. Where is it? Good ADP. We've also had good employment index. That's not good. That was unemployment claims. That's it. Unemployment claims was good as well. But I would say overall, the last time we saw these kind of good numbers for ADP and even unemployment claims was April. And what I saw during April, so I actually caught the same move. If we go back to April, this is where you can kind of align what you've previously taken. We could see, where was it, over here? Over here you had this full week go up. You had price manipulating people to come into buys. Obviously you end up breaking this buy leg and you've taken it out. At the minute the buy leg's a bit lower, but you could still see price go up this week. You get good NFP, all of a sudden you drop, and that's what I'm looking for. If it doesn't happen, so be it. We might not come in good, but that is my idea. I'm very still positive on the dollar at the minute. The elections could shake things up, but for the minute, pretty happy with how the last 2 weeks have gone. Obviously missing a move, being able to come back on, take a win. Another thing I did, actually, it's another thing I need to learn, which I need to showcase here, is this higher time frame I set wrong. I set it lower, so that's the entry which I wanted within the weekly, taking the previous weekly high. I actually set an entry at 700 here, so I've set an entry here at 700. I woke up in the morning and I've been tagged in and price is sitting around here. With that being said, I didn't want an unjustified winner for price not to come and take the lows. So I've decided to close that position in a slight half an hour profit, which you can see that that's the trade here with a little bit of profit. This is not something I'm very happy with. I'd rather not take an unjustified winner when price hasn't come into the area, and that's my fault for getting the P&L wrong. I know it's 1 pip difference, but sometimes if price ran to these lows with me taking that trade, what's my analysis? Well, it didn't even happen. My analysis didn't even happen, so I've got away with one there. Could have easily taken a loss, but the thing is, if price has come up and I woke up in the morning and it hit the level, I'd stay in the trade because my entry analysis has still been validated, but it wasn't. So obviously I've got back in there, reset the limits, and yeah, let's see if we can get the downside. I mean, it's looking quite bullish on the lower time frames, but we know that NFP can do anything. A lot of manipulation here. We could see last time we come to this area, when we come down, we had issues breaking up, and then we could see the downside in the end. Same thing with here, we've come up, had issues going up. Will we then get that little manipulation off that wick and then see the push back to the upside past 104? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, cheers guys for that. Appreciate it. I've got to head off, but we'll be back for next week, see what NFP does, see if EU can win. I'll get 2 phase 1s passed into 2 phase 2s. I'll have a 200k on the go. Payout due, so there's a lot relying on this higher time frame trade, but once again, every trade's independent of each other. Whether or not I want to lose, I'll still trade the accounts and just take my time enjoying trading while I'm doing it. And that is the second. I've taken 2 trades this month, including that blip, 3 trades, and the profit for the month is 2R at the minute. It's not the best, but I haven't lost money, and that's when you're doing challenges. It's so important when you're working a job, you're able to buy challenges, not fail them, slowly pass. It's the best feeling. I think it's better than passing it quick and then blowing your funded. You can see now, like, I've had 3 or 4 payouts that are coming in, and just getting used to that is something good because it teaches you discipline. It teaches you that, okay, I make the right decisions, I will get money. And at the minute, it's $500, $600. Soon that'll be 5k, 6k, eventually 50k, 60k. And I do trust the whole process with that 100%. But yeah, motivation for you guys there to carry on. Keep doing what you're doing, stay disciplined, and everything will work out. See you later, guys. Take care. Peace.